Lagos State unveils malaria pre-elimination and digitalization initiative. Federal government unveils a digital public infrastructure framework to enhance service delivery. On the foreign scene, Canada responds to new tariffs from United States with import tax, warns of existential threat. In sport, Nigeria's Flying Eagles to resume camp on March 10 ahead preparation for Under-20 AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Now the details. I am Taiwo Baruwa. The Lagos State government has launched the final phase of its pathway to malaria pre-elimination and digitalization initiative aimed at protecting residents and enabling them to contribute effectively to the state socio-economic growth and gross domestic products GDP. Speaking at the unveiling event in Victoria Island, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu emphasized the importance of testing before treatment as a critical step in malaria control. The initiative is funded by the Impact Projects, an initiative of the federal government, and is designed to harness digital innovation, strengthen data transparency, and enhance public-private partnership collaboration to combat malaria. During the event, the governor announced the appointment of the Executive Secretary of Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency, Idowa Biola, as a permanent secretary. Governor Sanwo-Olu commended key partners including the World Bank, World Health Organization, the WHO, Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, and other healthcare stakeholders for their support in driving this groundbreaking project. Sanwo-Olu, who reaffirmed his administration's political will and a commitment to achieving malaria-free Lagos through strategic interventions, highlighted Lagos State leadership in innovative health partnerships and its dedication to strengthening the production and distribution of essential malaria commodities. Commissioner for Health Akian Bayomi stated that the state is leveraging technology to improve malaria diagnosis, reporting, and case management. This approach ensures structured pathway for handling malaria-negative fever, promoting the judicious use of anti-malaria drugs and antibiotics, and ultimately improving patient outcomes. Discussing the state's progress in malaria control, Abayomi noted that Lagos has significantly reduced malaria prevalence over the years. He reiterated the government's unwavering commitment to investment and stakeholder engagement, which have been instrumental in advancing primary healthcare strategies. On his part, Minister of Health and Social Welfare Mohammed Ali Pate, who was represented by Minister of State for Health Isaac Salako, praised Lagos for its pioneering effort in malaria elimination. He stated that the newly launched project aligns with the Renewed Hope agenda, which aims to deliver tangible results in malaria elimination and other public health initiatives. The minister urged stakeholders to sustain their commitment to achieve this goal. The Lagos State Ministry of Transportation has suspended the e-collab system in the Lekki-Epe corridor based on the request of union leaders. In a statement, the Ministry of Transportation said it is suspending the e-collab to allow the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, and Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, to have further engagement with their members. The union leaders promised to ensure parking compliance by their members, while the ministry will enforce the event of violation of the promise. The meeting was attended by the Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, Permanent Secretary Olawale Musa, union leaders of NUPENG, IPMAN, and NATO. All parties agreed with the importance of the e-collab system as the best solution for managing truck movement along the Lekki-Epe corridor. The Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps, LAGESC, popularly known as KAI, has apprehended 6 suspected vendors for engaging in the illegal sales of sachet alcohol and aphrodisiacs in traffic around the Yanoe-Solo Ilasamaja axis of the state. Corps Marshal of the agency, Olani Yukul, who made this known, said this action became necessary as LAGESC received complaints from motorists about how vendors engaged in the illegal sales of sachet alcohol liquor, and aphrodisiacs, among others, in traffic, which can contribute to the high rate of accident via drunk driving and passenger-induced chaos. Cole decried the alarming scourge of drunk driving among Lagos drivers, which has been researched as a leading and contributory factor to the spate of motor accident within and outside the state. He commended the arrest of these defaulters, warning that the trend of hawking alcohol in traffic must be discouraged, as the agency will exhaust all lawful options to bring perpetrators to book. The Corps Marshal also sounded a note of warning to street traders, hawkers, and building contractors in the habit of stacking sand on the road, just as he cautioned public and private buildings to have a valid waste collection contract and patronize approved PSP operators in the state to promote a cleaner and habitable metropolis. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has introduced a digital public infrastructure DPI framework to unify digital service delivery across government institutions. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, in a post on X, noted that the framework adopts a whole-of-government approach and leverage private sector capabilities to deliver services effectively. The minister explained that the move would also ensure that technology applications in government are designed and operated without silos, while recognizing the responsibilities and mandate of various ministries, departments, and agencies of government across all tiers. DPI refers to a set of foundational technology-based systems that enable seamless delivery of essential public and private services in a digital economy. Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has approved a reduction in working hours for civil servants during the 2025 Ramadan fast. The announcement was made in a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the State Head of Service, Mohammed Dagasari, in Dutse, the state capital. Dagasari explained that the adjustment aims to allow civil servants more time to prepare for the daily Ramadan break and engage in spiritual activities. He also emphasized the importance of praying for peace and economic prosperity for both the state and Nigeria as a whole. In foreign news, Canada has responded to new tariffs from the United States with retaliatory import taxes of its own after warning of existential threats from its neighbor. U.S. President Donald Trump imposed 25% tariffs on products entering the U.S. from Canada and Mexico, which became effective overnight, and has increased a levy on goods coming from China. Canada has responded with tariffs on tens of billions of dollars worth of products imported from the U.S. President Trump says he is protecting U.S. jobs in the manufacturing and saying to prevent illegal migration and drug trafficking. But experts say he is likely to push up prices for consumers in the U.S. and abroad. A statement from Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said there was no justification for the new U.S. tariffs because less than 1% of the fentanyl intercepted at the U.S. border came from Canada. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has also vowed her own response. In sport now, the Flying Eagles will resume camping in Abuja on the 10th of March ahead of their preparations for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. The 7-time African champions are currently on a short break following their 2-match tour of Cote d'Ivoire last week. Coach Ali Zubairu's charges recorded mixed result during their friendly matches against the Young Elephant, winning 1 and losing 1. Nigeria will contend with Egypt, South Africa, and Morocco in what promises to be a challenging group at this year's tournament scheduled to take place in Cote d'Ivoire from April 26 to May 18. All 4 semi-finalists at the upcoming Under-20 AFCON will fly Africa's flag at this year's FIFA Under-20 World Cup finals scheduled for Chile from September 27 to October 19. And that's it on the news at 4. But just before we go, do not drink and drive. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that under the Sanwo-Olu administration, Lagos State Health Management Agency (LASHMA) inaugurated new centers at Ikorodu, Ikoto, and Ekwe? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Government has launched the final phase of its pathway to malaria pre-elimination and digitalization initiative aimed at protecting residents and enabling them to contribute effectively to the state socio-economic growth and gross domestic product (GDP). The federal government has introduced the Digital Public Infrastructure (DPI) framework to unify digital service delivery across government institutions. We also told you that Canada has responded to new tariffs from the United States with retaliatory import taxes of its own after warning of an existential threat from its neighbor. Finally, in sport, the Flying Eagles will resume camping in Abuja on the 10th of March ahead of their preparations for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Coyote Mafola Shiri. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon and welcome to the return trip.